Creamer Media's Mining Weekly is interviewing Gary Lane, the chairperson of the Mining Technical Program of the Southern African Institute of Mining and Metallurgy. The subject today is the state of the platinum group metals industry, ahead of the Institute's upcoming 8th International PGM Conference on the 2nd and 3rd of November at Sun City. Gary, can we kick off? What are your views on the current state of the platinum group metals industry and the mining industry?
I think the platinum industry or the PGM industry in South Africa, I think the future is very, very good for the industry. If you think about the theme of the conference being a greener world, the whole focus on decarbonisation, the ESG requirements, and the impact on our economy and the cost to our environment is really playing well into the hands of our PGM players. If you look at all the catalytic metals coming out of the PGM basket, they all play a critical role in hydrogen, in fuel cells, in all of the future, what I'd call future generation metals. So if you look at the share prices of our platinum players, they have been at all-time highs for most of them. Prices are also looking very good. So overall, our PGM future looks very, very attractive. And we obviously have challenges in South Africa around labor and legislation, but overall, very, very positive.
And what does the conference aim to achieve in relation to the current state of the industry?
I think from an SAIMM perspective, and SAIMM is 125 years old, and we've looked at reinventing what the SAIMM stands for. And one of the key things is around collaboration. I think the key is bringing parties together, because the integration of the mining value chain from the suppliers through to fuel cells, downstream research. So the conference aims to bring people together to collaborate and talk, to also open people's eyes to what the potential is. Historically, the conference has been very focused on the mining side, but the value stream of the PGMs is long, right from the mining of the underground or open cast PGMs, all the way to the downstream beneficiation, uses of the different metals, the research being done. So it's bringing all those parties together and to focus on the whole value stream and the benefits to South Africa and the PGM industry. Because if we got more than 80% of the PGM known reserves in the world, and the PGM's really been the only true 100% green decarbonisation avenue, imagine the opportunity if we were very much more strategic around positioning of the country on the fuel cells, on the generation of hydrogen. So very much about collaboration.
And how are you going to really elaborate that green theme, that you've got? What sort of green flags are you going to be flying there?
We've got quite a number of really good speakers in the first session, which runs most of the first day, all around ESG, the circular economy, the impact of ESG, talking about how PGMs fit into the future world, the greener world, the role all the PGMs play in hydrogen generation, in fuel cells, and other potential markets that we're still doing research of as an industry globally.
And tell us about these keynote speakers and the networking opportunities that attendees can expect.
Sun City is the venue. It's always a great venue. We'll have a few networking functions in the evenings. There'll also be a function in the Valley of the Waves, which is a great opportunity for people to talk. So very much pushing that collaboration. And saying that, we've invited some key speakers. We've got Gordon Smith, who is the chairman of the ESGS interest group for the SAIMM, doing a talk around, our young professionals are really they're the future leaders of our industry. So very much a focus on ESG and what does it mean to our members, and skills development and experience to meet that needs of future ESG requirements in the organization. We also have Famida Smith from Anglo Platinum. She will be talking about the future of how PGMs play in our future world and the requirements of the future world, and also social requirements of the future world. We've got Stephen Bullock from Anglo American, who will be talking about the circular economy and how PGMs play into that circular economy and ESG. Henk de Hoop from SFA. SFA have always been a great supporter of the Platinum Conference, and he'll be talking a little about ESG. How do the different players actually rank against each other in this ESG world? We've also invited Roger Baxter or somebody else from the Minerals Council of South Africa to talk a little bit as well to us. And the last one is Chakana Mothobeni from Impala, who's going to be talking about ESG and beyond. So really, really good keynotes in the morning and into the first plenary session of the Platinum Conference, Martin.
There's been quite a big gap between the last time you had this and now, and how has the pandemic affected the industry?
Look, SAIMM responded rapidly to the pandemic. We went online with a whole series of webinars within about 3 weeks of the pandemic hitting. So it had a major impact, but like globally, it accelerated the adoption of digital. So we started off with having weekly webinars. We probably had about, I think, probably 6,000 delegates have watched SAIMM webinars in the last 2 years since the pandemic hit. And most of our conferences went to digital and to what we called hybrid, where there were small groups within the regulations and digital. The Platinum Conference really needs to be, it's such a critical conference for South Africa. We felt it wouldn't work to be a digital conference. So we actually delayed the conference that was due for 2021 and we shifted it out. So this will be an in-person conference at Sun City, and it was delayed due to the pandemic.
And what, in your view, should be the main takeaway from this conference?
You know, I always like to think people leave with some kind of an aha or an action, you know, a call for action. And I think the call for action is for people to realize that the South African mining industry is so critical to the South African economy and to the global economy. PGMs, where we have a strategic advantage in South Africa, play a critical role to the future of our cleaner environment. So, you know, the realization of the importance of PGMs to the greener world, the need for collaboration, the needing for networking, and making it a strategic priority for the country and our industry.
That was Creamer Media's Mining Weekly, speaking to Gary Lane, the chairperson of the Mining Technical Program of the Southern African Institute of Mining and Metallurgy.